Welcome to Tom Papa's Come to Papa.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Come to Papa, your favorite podcast among all the other podcasts and movies and TV shows and books.
Books.
Except for maybe one book. There might be one book that is better than the podcast. Confederacy of Dunces. No, my book. My beautiful... Your Dad Stole My Rake and Other Family Dilemmas. We're still up there in the rankings.
Nice.
We are still number one in new release and parenting humor. We're hanging around 200 of all books on Amazon, which in the top 200, which is apparently a huge achievement.
Nice.
Like we're really kicking butt.
What about Audible? I got the audio book, and
Yeah.
that's usually... That shows up really fast, like the new comedian ones, at least on my page. So it would be like Tom Papa and Tina Fey.
Right. I know. It's very exciting. I want to thank everybody who's bought it, and everybody keeps sending pictures of them reading the book, which is very funny, you know, with the with the Instagram eyes. And a million thanks. And the response has been amazing. The number of the people, the compliments, the people are really enjoying it is above all the most satisfying thing to me. It's really, I can't thank you enough, and I'm glad that people like it and they're laughing and enjoying it. And thank you for spreading the word. If you have the book, go to Amazon and write a review, because that helps let everybody know. People who don't know us, lets them know that we've got a real book on our hands. And if you haven't bought the book, what's wrong with you? Like Paul said, you can do the Audible. You can do the print version. Get a print version. Have your friends all chip in and get one book, and you could all lay in bed together and read it.
Or you can Kindle it, right?
You can Kindle it. Maybe how many ways? I could even come to your house.
They'll sign the Kindle.
I'm going to Salt Lake City tomorrow night.
Nice.
I think it's just about sold out, but that's going to be a big book event with lots of... with comedy and books, and then the next day, Thursday through Saturday, I'll be in Washington, D.C., doing the same thing, selling books, doing stand-up comedy, and all these numbers are great, and they all are moving us towards, the Holy Grail, which, that other very important list, which we will keep unnamed, like Macbeth, we don't want to jinx it, but we're selling really well, and if we could break into that list, it would be amazeballs.
Is that Macbeth?
I can only do it with your help.
I thought it was a no-hitter.
That too. You can't mention when you're in a theater doing the play. It's the play whose name we won't speak of, or whatever.
Who dare not speak its name?
Yes, exactly.
Line? Oh, that's from that? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you can't say it, or else one of the actors will die. Bella, come in.
Did you ever have to do that play?
No. I never did a Shakespeare play.
I took a college semester of Shakespeare, and I do not remember much of it.
You did? Come here.
I just remember it was the most expensive book I ever bought in my life. Like, it was probably, was it over 100? It might have been. It was amazing to me. I was like, I could take another class for what this book is costing me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was one of those things where, like, we both should go in on this, like, with your roommate, because it's like, neither one of us are probably going to read any of this.
Yeah. When we were in school, I don't know if it still holds, but books were the biggest scam.
Yeah.
Like, you get into school and you finally get enough money to actually go to pay tuition and housing, and you don't realize your first year that your books are going to cost as much as everything else.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how much of a racket it was for the teachers or professors. Now I understand that most of them didn't make any money. So, like, if they taught this course and 100 kids bought their book, that would be a good amount of money in their pocket.
Yeah.
Just like you. Like if you taught a college course and you had 500 students in a class, you'd be on the bestseller list.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing on Amazon. It hold on one sec. Hold on one. On Amazon, it says when you go to my book, it says only 4 left in stock, more on the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we've outsold what we were going to sell for in Amazon, what they had.
That's great.
So keep it going, people. Thank you. You know, this whole thing, like I said, I really just love that people like it. But if we do sell well, they'll pay me to write another.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want to do. I want to crank these books out. It was so much fun, and I want to keep doing it. And if people buy them, then they'll give me another shot.
You just tell people for the audiobook that Matt Damon reads a chapter. Did you tell them that?
Ooh, I should tell them that. I should make it a guessing game. Like you guys have to figure out who's reading it.
Yeah.
Me or Matt. That would be funny.
That was the one cool thing with I think it was Greg Fitzsimmons. His mom saved all his letters from like the teachers saying he was a big pain in the ass. And he had like all like Norm Macdonald and all these other comedians read the letters. So that's like a cool thing.
Yeah. When did he do that?
That
What
was
do you mean?
a few years ago. It was
a
like
live thing?
his audiobook. Yeah, it's like Dear Mrs. Fitzsimmons. It was just all the letters like his school wrote home to his mom. And
That was his book?
Yeah, and she saved them. So it was just like...
That's so great. That's amazing that there's that many that he could actually make a book out of. That's so great.
That's what I mean. I don't think I have anything...
He's so funny.
I don't have anything like that. I'm trying to think. I was trying to look up... I found a bunch of old like school stuff, pictures, and I have plays that I wrote in 3rd grade.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't have any of this stuff.
Well,
maybe my mom does.
It was weird. For some reason I never saw a play. Wasn't really into plays, but for some reason I wrote like plays. I just wrote,
That's so cool.
stuff about like being in a labyrinth. I don't know where it was.
Can you please bring one in?
I will. I have them.
We've got to do that. We have to spend a podcast reenacting one of the plays.
Yeah, I had 2 amazing teachers, Mrs. Hunt and Mrs. Woodburn, and they both said, these are nuts, but you guys should act these out. So she let us act them out like in 3rd and 4th grade.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you mean? She said they're nuts? Were they nuts?
No, she's just like... I was just writing I wrote a 10-page play like in 3rd grade for no reason, and I wouldn't even do that for any reason 4 years later. You know what I mean? I was just like a dumb kid and just started writing.
That's amazing. We've got to do this. We've got it. We have to. Do you know the names?
One of them is called I had an early story that's called The Wild and Crazy Guy, and I must have seen Steve Martin somewhere, right?
Of course.
And it's really disturbing. It's like
Ow.
It was like he jumped over the wall. He was wild and crazy. And then one day he decided it wasn't nice to be wild and crazy anymore. It was like
Did it get dark, or was it just fun?
I think it's just funny to me because you can just tell I wasn't trying to but I don't know what I was attempting to imitate or why I wrote them.
This
is really funny.
That would be so great.
Yeah, I tried to buy one of those. What are those machines that like seal up
fax
papers?
Machine.
No, like you heat it up.
A corn husker.
No. You know what I'm talking about. So the newspaper doesn't go yellow. You like seal it in
laminator.
Laminator.
Right.
That's what I was trying to do with them.
Oh yeah.
So they don't get messed up. But I have them all.
You know what you should do? Also, like everything in your life, it probably won't really work long term because the technology will change. But we've talked about this, just taking pictures of stuff on your phone.
Yeah.
Remember, I threw away all my old sport plaques and stuff. Just took pictures of it, and now they're just in the cloud, and it's not owned by me.
Yeah. Well, this is so cool because my handwriting was always atrocious.
Yeah, me too.
So my teacher typed them out like script version, which is how I learned how to write scripts, I think.
Wow, you had great teachers.
And you can even see it's that because she made copies, so it's like that purple ink.
Yeah.
You know those paper with like it has that ridiculous purple paper on the back.
Yeah, what was that?
When they had to like wrap it around, that's how they made copies. Before
I know. What was that called? That was called something.
Some kind of ink thing. I don't know.
No, it was
everything was that color. Remember, it was always
and they
that
smelled ditto.
Yeah, ditto.
It was called ditto. Yeah, and they would reprint all the dittos. It was basically copying, but for some reason it was called ditto.
But I don't know what.
And then it smelled purpley.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looked purpley, and all the kids would just sit there and sniff it. It had to be bad for you.
Maybe that's what got you into bread. It's like the way they baked the paper. That's what it smelled like, fresh paper.
Yeah. Oh, so good. We have to see these plays. You have to bring them in. We have to do them. We have to. Well, even if we have to bring in other actors.
Yeah, that's what you have to delve into. Well, you did write about family stuff, but what you've never talked about like school. We just know about Mr. Mano.
Oh no, I have a couple.
That's in the book.
In the book, yeah.
Okay.
One chapter is called "School Sucks,"
right?
And it talks about how all of our teachers, like when we were kids. It sounds like different from where you were, but you went to school in Paradise. Our teachers did not get into teaching because they liked children and educating. Excuse me. They got into it because they got back from the war and had nothing else to do. And they chain smoked and beat children. And so I write all about a whole chapter on all of the awful teachers that I had.
Yeah.
And then I also have a chapter when I talk about how mean the children were. It's called a googly eye. And, about any weakness that you had, you would just be abused by people.
Right.
Our kids don't have that at all. They look at they hear the stories that we tell of like attacking kids because they were short or because they had a big head or because a kid wet themselves, and they're horrified. Like it doesn't even enter their...
Yeah.
It's almost like it really shows that we were taught to be mean back then.
Maybe, yeah.
Because it's not an instinct. Like these children don't have like a mean instinct in them to attack each other.
But they also have no discipline.
Well, that's another thing.
Yeah?
Well, yeah. I think it's just on a kindness level.
Okay.
These kids like... If a kid wet their pants in their school,
right,
they would all rally around him, give him some pants, and try and be all sweet and like protect this little kid. Like, oh, geez, what happened to you?
Right.
If you wet yourself when you were in school, they would call you pee-pee pants for the rest of your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not to say it's nirvana. And also, they deal with a level of cruelty online in a lot of instances.
Yeah,
that is more devastating.
But that's what I think it is. It's more... I think that behavior is more in response to, I'm going to get in trouble if I make fun of this kid.
I don't know. I mean, when you talk to them, they're so, like, sweet. I mean, there's not everybody. And you know, I guess bullies probably weren't the norm.
Yeah.
Even when they just made more noise, right?
But they just put it on a platter for you when we were kids. Like the guy who called people down to the office had like a speech impediment. So he would just call over the Mrs. Brown, pick up please. He always said like the hardest words for the list. Pick up please. Come down to the office. Have a wonderful day. It's like, why are you putting him on a loudspeaker?
Have a wonderful spring break, everybody. it's going to be a special semester. Oh, it's so mean. Oh, God.
But I do have, like, I definitely, I know this for a fact. That's why the food stuff might come from, like, because I remember cafeteria food just scared the crap out of me. And that was just, like, metal trays and slap the slop down on there. And
it was like prison. It was like eating in prison.
And I'm sure that affected why I don't eat a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And definitely peeing, like, in urinal, like, you couldn't pee in a urinal in a bathroom in any of our schools without somebody hitting you with something or, like, kicking the back of your knee.
Yeah, the back of your knee.
And I'm positive that's why I still never use a urinal. I always go into the stall because I think somebody's going to... Yeah.
You're in an airport. You're flying to your gig.
Always stall.
Airport
You've never noticed that? I never go to a urinal.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. See, you're scarred for life from those childhood things.
Yeah.
That's what the whole chapter of my book, The Googly Eye, is about. It's literally like, you know that the kid that we called Fred Flintstone is in a business meeting now as a 50-year-old man.
Right.
And someone says that his idea wasn't that great, and he quietly in his head goes, "You did it again, Flintstone." You can't shake this stuff. Wow, you don't go to a urinal.
Well, I just
That's
always...
so yeah, people would come up behind you and just kick you in the ass so you, like, went into the urinal.
Or they just, like, hit you in the nuts. Like, if you just walked up, "Hey, how's it going, guys?" Bangkok.
Oh, yeah, Bangkok was a big one. Punch you right in the privates.
Yeah, there was no greeting that didn't involve, like, hitting somebody in the shoulder.
This is what I'm saying. I don't see this happen in my children's school.
Yeah, I don't think you can hit anybody. I've even noticed how hugs are changing. Have you noticed, like, I was trying to think.
It's all just upper shoulder. You don't want anything from the breast down touching the other person's body. I know, I have noticed that.
Because I'm not a big, like, for some reason, I just don't hug other women anyway, usually.
Yeah.
Like, and when they go in for it, like, I forget where it was. It was like one of those radio or TV shows that you did. Yeah. And, like, one of the producers came to me and they're like, just basically, like, tapped me on both shoulders.
Yeah.
From, like, 2 feet away.
Right. It's a hug with
and
your
I was
arms
like,
extended.
You can just shake my hand.
I know. I do hug, especially just when I'm feeling that way. And there was a couple times recently where I just met these brand new people, like on these book events. Mm-hmm. And I was like, was that... And I actually said, was it inappropriate? Like 5 minutes later, was it inappropriate to hug hello?
Yeah.
And the girl was like, no, we live in the South. We always hug.
Well, yeah, with the book stuff, we had all kinds of podcast fans, and everyone's coming up and asking for pictures and wanting to hug you and stuff like that. So I feel like you're letting them down if you're like, stay behind the rope.
I know. you know, it's like that classic or that legendary moment when Shakira came up to Jerry.
No, not Shakira. He definitely would have hugged Shakira.
Who was this one?
What's that? It's another one named person. Crap.
Charlotte. Who did Jerry not hug?
Seinfeld.
Oh God.
She has blonde hair and she had a couple hits.
Shakira. Wasn't it Shakira?
Mm-mm. Shakira's beautiful. Anybody would hug Shakira.
Oh, so you're thinking he didn't hug her because she was gross?
And she was like, well, Shakira literally like married a prince. I think she's like a queen of some South American country.
Kesha. Is Kesha gross?
No. It's just I don't think people would know her. Shakira's the one, like, she's like really, really famous.
Yeah.
She's like Selena was.
It's so great. It's so great. He's in the middle of an interview and he's like talking on the red carpet. And she comes up, "I love you so much." And she's kind of, I guess she's a little weird. She's got crazy long fake hair and fake face. "I love you so much," and just goes into hugging. He immediately puts a karate chop in front of her. "No thanks." Just the way he's so great.
But it was also
No thanks. No thanks.
It was a very like you're being interviewed by 10 TV stations, and she wants to like interrupt that to hug you. Like,
Yes.
that's also a problem.
In hindsight, she was trying to get a
Attention.
press for herself.
Yeah.
But he's not thinking that at all.
No.
He's purely thinking,
It's all
I don't
natural.
hug people normally,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely not hugging you.
Yeah.
And this was like right when the Me Too was starting to crest, and he was just like, I don't hug people, and I'm not hugging this person who just ambushed me on the side.
Yeah. I feel like
But I have to say, in that situation, I probably hug.
yeah.
I've never said no to a hug. I don't think I ever have. And like you said, we're sitting at, we had so many people came out in Phoenix to the shows, and we had like that huge line for the book and everything, and some people come up and they're pretty drunk,
Yeah.
and they just want a hug and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, you mind if I hug you? Yes, that's fine. It's fine.
It got pretty crazy. You're good with that. I probably wouldn't have done that both shows in such a, because it was such a wild. It's basically like there's like 4 nightclubs, and then there's 500 people leaving this comedy club, and everyone's like, there's so much noise, and everyone's just like saying, hey.
Yeah.
And it's like, for you, I'm sure that was like more work than the show was.
Oh, completely. It's a lot of work. And, people don't know how to use their phones to take pictures, and it's like loud music and everybody. But it was also very cool because we hadn't been in Phoenix in like 6 years.
Yeah.
And people were like, where have you been? And we've been waiting for you to come. And it was all very, very positive, but a lot of work. And I can't.
I still don't think we were in Phoenix. I think there's a different part of Phoenix that we can go to that was different than that place. I felt like like most of those people even said they came from like the outskirts, like out of town, or from this side or that
downtown
side.
Downtown Phoenix, it definitely is not a place like a lot of people live.
Right. Yeah,
it's a lot smaller than you think, or than I think.
Yeah, I mean, I when I did my internship, I was down there, and it was like a little sketchy, but definitely like Tempe is where Arizona State is, and Scottsdale is where all these beautiful resorts are. Mm-hmm. And so like it definitely is like, it's like LA kind of. Nobody goes to downtown LA for anything.
Yeah.
And it's just everything else, you go to West Hollywood or Century City or Sherman Oaks.
You need, in these kind of cities like Hartford is kind of like that. Like, it's just a place. I think it's changed now, but it was just a place that had insurance companies, and people would come in, work, and then leave. And at 7:00, it was a ghost town. Any of these places that don't have every element of life, either you need the apartments, you need the businesses, you need the schools, you need the communities, you need all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Some of these cities, they just have 1 or 2 elements of those things, and they become like, you walk in and you're like, something's not complete.
Yeah.
Something's a little amiss.
Well, the crazy thing was that city grew. It's probably, along with Vegas, it was probably the fastest growing city.
Right.
In the last 15 years, it's definitely doubled in size. So, like, instead of downtown, everything just spread out. So, like, they just kept making houses further and further out.
Right.
So now, like, you meet people that say they live in Phoenix, and they're an hour away. It's like Philadelphia.
Yeah. It's interesting because, especially in a time when people want to live in cities more, like young people want to be in a city because it's, in a lot of ways, a lot less stress and a lot less driving and that small community kind of feel. But anyway, a lot of people came out, and we hugged a lot of them.
Yeah, it was great.
There's a lot of hugs going on.
And there is a lot of cool stuff, like, just in that area, like the baseball stadium and the basketball arena, and everything is, like, right down there.
Yeah.
I just think I don't know if, it's not possible to have, like, an apartment right there, right? You have to live somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that you're right though. It's like anything that's kind of a business acquaintance, the hugs are completely different. Like people are coming in with the extended arm hug.
Yeah.
It's like we all want to be friendly, but we also don't know each other, and it's like this is a work environment, so in those situations you probably shouldn't be going in for the hug.
Yeah, it's whatever seminar everyone took where they use narrative instead of story now.
Right.
They changed it. It's always the different buzzwords that everyone uses. That's my truth. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
But so where are you this week though? You're in Salt Lake City and DC?
In DC. And then I have the live Come to Papa in New York next Tuesday. And then off to Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Oh, nice.
In Chicago. The final live from here a week from Saturday in Tanglewood in Massachusetts. And then and that'll be it. Then I'll have a week off around the 4th of July. Where are you going to be for the 4th?
Iraq or Iraq. Is that how they say it?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's
Forgot about that. That's coming up.
The big USO tour.
You leave tomorrow?
That's the whole point. No, next week.
Next week.
Next Wednesday.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the whole point. We're going to be there for the 4th of July. It's the USO tour. It's the Stone Temple Pilots, nice. Me, the Mowglis.
Who didn't the lead guy die from that band?
Yeah. But I don't think he's been in that band in a long time.
Oh.
I think it's like two brothers. They, it's like Chicago. They just got a different singer.
They just keep rotating it through.
And then it's like a country singer and an R&B Tinashe or something like that.
You guys will all be on one show, or does it split up?
I don't know. It's the tour. Basically, the comedians are flying like from here to Kuwait, and then obviously I don't know where.
You'll be in Kuwait?
Yes.
Wow.
At the Holiday Inn. No, I don't know where we are. But it is pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm going to. I think it goes through Amsterdam to Kuwait. So that'll probably be the longest flight other than Asia that I've done, I think.
Wow, that's long.
Yeah, because it's
Hope you have a good seat.
It's only like an hour. It's probably only 2 hours in between.
Ooh.
And they're both like pretty long.
Just get right on the next one.
Yeah, like Amsterdam to the Middle East is not like a short flight.
Wow, yeah. How many troops do we have in Iraq still?
I don't know. I thought it was a little trimmed down, right? I feel like it's a weird thing for me to tell people that I'm going there.
What do you mean?
It just kind of throws them off a little bit. Like I did my yoga class, and the teacher, the Monday night teacher likes me, and she was like, "You gonna be here next week?" And I was like, "Oh, I have to go to Iraq for a week." And she's like, "You say it like it's just like going to Bakersfield or something." I'm like, "Oh yeah," because she doesn't understand that we're traveling and stuff.
Recent reports suggest that the total number of U.S. troops in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan may be about 20,000, far more than the official tally of about 14,000. 20,000 among all those places. I would think Syria, of course, there's not that many, but in Iraq and Afghanistan, I figured it would be a lot. I figured it was more than that.
Yeah.
20,000.
So that's enough for a show.
Yeah. I know. We always have to put it into show business terms. Yeah, well, that should be a good audience. You should sell some CDs during that.
Yeah, it should be perfect. I just don't know what to, I don't know if people like me were made to be in the desert in July.
No. There is a good chance you may just turn into like a water balloon that's been in the sun too long, and all the liquid will just pour out of you. And they'll just have to fold you up, put you in their carry-on, and bring you back to the States for hydration.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing the hot yoga, just to not look out of shape while I'm walking around there.
I'm looking up weather in Iraq.
Yeah, I'm just going to look like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
93 degrees. Oh, because it's probably nighttime. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock at night. Up to 110.
Sure.
110.
It's Vegas-y.
That's not so bad. Yeah, it's like Phoenix.
That's what I was trying to... I texted Colin Quinn. I was like, because they have the Comedy Cellar in Vegas now. I was like, hey, when are you going to get out of the city and come to Vegas, like the mob? And, and he's like, I don't know, sometime.
There is... okay, when you're there, it's going to be between 113 and 115. But consistently.
Yeah.
Like it is, and 0% precipitation.
And I'm sure we're not wearing shorts either, right? Aren't we
Do they
wearing
give you like cool army stuff to wear?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm assuming so, but
you should definitely. That's a manly thing to say when you get off the plane. Someone told us that we're going to be getting new outfits. Do I have to call my agent, or are you going to just give me an outfit?
So are Crocs good for this whole thing, or do I need better footwear?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be the desert, right? I can just wear sandals?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Maybe something with a visor, like a green tinted visor.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to do well. But I don't think the Stone Temple Pilots seem like people that hang out in the sun either.
I don't know. I think some of those, like, because some of the tours, like, in like, Pearl Harbor, and, like, so I don't know where everyone's going or who gets to go where.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm sure some of the guys take the Cush gig.
Yeah.
And they do the base. They're
Sure.
entertaining the troops in South Florida or something.
Yeah, exactly.
The easy way out.
I had a dream. I was just going to say Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
When you said Cush gig, like they're even for the people in the military, like to get like the good gig while you're there.
Yeah.
I was thinking about him in Good Morning Vietnam, but I had a dream about him last night. What was it?
That's one of the clips that pops up is when he went there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he went there not long before he died, I think.
Oh, really?
And he was performing. Yeah, he's got like all the gear on. So that's what I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a helmet or something.
Yeah, you got to try and get something. You got to get some like Iraqi swords or something.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll take you by the palaces.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I've seen...
What's the nightlife like in Iraq these days?
I don't think... Isn't it a dry country? I don't know. I feel like that's one of those countries...
Yeah, but like when I went to Beirut or like Dubai, they're dry unless you're in an American hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And like all of the locals, like they hang out and they hang out in there. They act all... follow all the rules when they're...
Yeah.
When the lights go out, inside Iraq's surprising nightlife boom. Here you go.
I don't think we're part of that, though.
First time I visited Kurdistan, the autonomous region in northern Iraq, it was by accident. I was working on a project about child marriage, and flights booked way in advance were meant to take me to Afghan Canada. Great news. We're sending you to Iraq instead. I'm going to give my Kindle a complete overhaul. This is too long to read.
Maybe I can promote your book while I'm there.
Looks like a lot of booze. It looks like you could smoke a lot of hookah. You can smoke stuff from a hookah.
Yeah, and 115 weather. That's perfect. Breathe in smoke while it's 110 degrees.
There's probably a lot of dancing, a lot of ethnic dancing you can do there.
Others can do.
Will you be available on your cell?
I don't know. Yeah, these are questions I need to ask. But I'm assuming that, I'm basically, like, when we're there, I think we just listen to whatever they tell us.
Right.
So it's like, we're going here, you're doing this show, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to ask where the 7-Eleven is or the...
That's cool, though. They're going to be psyched that you're there, for sure.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. Because there's no, there's no way. It's really weird. I try to go out of my way to make sure they know that I'm not in the service.
Yeah.
But, even my dentist, I was like, I got to go to Iraq next week. He's like, oh, be careful. And I was like, oh, I'm just telling jokes. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, it'll be safe. I don't think there's much to worry about. I think you'll be fine. But I think for our podcast listeners, they're all thinking, well, how are we going to get the podcast if you're helping the soldiers? Yes, the soldiers are defending our country, but what am I going to do at work?
Yeah.
When I normally listen to the podcast, I have to cut my lawn too,
Well, we'll get some. It'll only be a week, so we can record. I'll record next week,
right?
And then I think the week after is I'll just miss one, so we'll get But maybe I can record.
Bella's mad. Listen to Bella. She's not.
Maybe I could do a record while I'm there. That's another thing I was going to try to see if I could just record some stuff while I'm there.
I've learned something about my house.
It's noisy.
When I'm not here, no one tells the dog to shut up.
Oh, right.
Not one person. When I call home and I hear the dog bark, you don't hear. And I've been back for a couple of days. The dog is just barking its head off, and nobody says anything.
Yeah, the dog runs things here when you're gone.
100%. And part of me is like, that's okay. She's a big fat dog that wants to attack people that come near the house. So that's good to have when you're traveling around.
Right.
But when we're here,
when she's just eating out of the garbage can, it's kind of
when you know that the leader of the pack is here, you tone it down.
Yeah. She's just breathing hard and eating stuff.
Yeah. Dog's life is pretty great. I can't believe the amount of energy. She'll just go from completely. She'll come in from a walk. She's exhausted and hot and lays down, just passes out. But if you get up and have the energy like you're going to the backyard, she's boom up, wagging her tail. Let's go.
Yeah.
There's no. All right, I'll get up. Let's go.
Pavlov's dogs, man. The reaction as soon as the bell rings.
Yeah, up and out.
She's reacting. As soon as you throw the ball, she's chasing.
Yeah. I saw someone with when I was in New York with a French bulldog, a little fat black French bulldog. Mm-hmm. And it was very popular at the hotel. People just were in love with this dog.
Yeah.
Myself included. Just great little personality. And I was like, that would be fun to travel around with a dog like that. Don't know if you remember Chris Arcudi. Remember that comedian way back?
Mm-mm.
I don't think he does it anymore. But he had a dog named Blue.
Yeah.
Same thing, French black bulldog. And he used to walk around with it all the time, and it was just him and this little thing. I was like, that could be fun, have a little companion with you on the road. I was like, what a pain in the ass that would be.
Yeah.
Anything that has to eat or go to the bathroom, you do not need with you when you're on the road.
Yeah, and especially for the most part, you're basically pushing that burden on other people because you're in somebody else's car, you're in somebody else's hotel, you're in somebody else's restaurant.
Yeah.
I went in the mall yesterday, and I was eating, and there's a woman with a dog, a small dog, mm-hmm. and then there's a woman with a Rottweiler about
oh my God,
10 feet away from my food.
Jeez.
And I don't want any hate mail about Rottweilers. I'm not saying they're mean, but if you're 10 feet away from a dog and you're eating, and the lady who's holding this 100-pound dog,
yeah, what if the dog feels threatened?
Has the leash on her wrist, her limp wrist,
yeah,
just hanging. There's no way if that dog decides he wants to have some of my dinner that she's holding him back.
No, exactly. And even, at the hotel in New York, the Soho Grand, which I like to stay in, it's a great place. The people are great. And there's this lounge area where they have breakfast and stuff. And these great couches, and I always sit there and write in the morning. And it's a great spot. And I was like, it smells like dog.
Yeah.
And I said to my friend who's the hostess, I said, it smells kind of like dog over here. He's like, I know, they're not allowed on the couch, but once in a while I let them. It's like, that's the problem. It's like you can't give anybody like any little leeway because then everybody abuses it.
Right.
It's the same thing with like the pre-boarding on the airports. They let everybody who needs extra time to board the plane. Well, a whole boatload of people are thinking I need extra time, or not I need extra time, just I'm getting on there first.
Right.
And everybody's walking by, and I literally was the other night, had a woman and her husband paid for first class seats. They're sitting there waiting to go on, and 20 people are going on before her because of this pre-board thing.
Right.
And she's saying very loudly, yeah, look, what's wrong with that guy? There's nothing wrong with him. Look at that guy. He's walking fine. He walks better than I do. And she's not wrong.
Yeah.
She's really not wrong. There's like all these people just scamming the system.
Yeah.
You let people bring their dog. Then everybody brings every animal and lets them sit on the couch.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem is that, if you only think that the world revolves around you, you forget that.
Yes.
All right, your Rottweiler is well behaved, but what if there's 10 other Rottweilers there?
Yeah.
Then it becomes a melee.
You summed it up exactly. It's when you think the world revolves around you. That is literally what it is. It's
everyone loves my dog.
Yeah, or just I don't care about anyone else.
Yeah.
This is my rule. I get on the plane first. I bring my dog. I let them sit in the restaurant with me.
Yeah.
I just do whatever I want. I park where I want. I drive as fast as I want. I throw garbage out. That selfish attitude. Well, it's what ruins the good time of everything.
Yeah, it's the other one was, and this is also hard to bring up, but it's like, yeah, if you have kids, it's tough and you're doing a lot, but every time you bring kids to a restaurant, it's these poor people that work there that have to clean up after your rotten kids.
Yeah.
After they start tearing apart the potato chips and throwing stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think it was like just a sandwich place. I tried to sit down and it just looked like a
war
pantry
zone.
Exploded.
I don't understand why people forget that they can actually help clean up.
Right.
Like, I understand it's once in a while you sit down and your kids are completely they're tired and they're obnoxious and it's out of everyone's control and it's like they're just going to rip the place apart. You can straighten up before you leave.
Right.
You don't have to just walk out and be like, drop the mic and take off. People are monsters.
But there is a certain like, if you're in the mall and you see when people are exhausted and they're just trying to get their kids to eat or something, I'm not talking about I'm talking about the people that are on their phone with their feet up while their kids are like tearing the place apart.
Complete disregard. I'm all for if a family has a stroller, go.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of... I know all the moves you have to make before you sit down, and even sitting down is going to be no relief for you.
Right.
Just go. You have to go. You got to pull the stuff off. You've got to break the stroller down. You got to deal with the guy. You got to make sure everything's there while you're holding your kid. Go.
Yeah.
Really old people, all crooked, can't move, struggling to get down the thing, fine. You walk on there, newly retired... and just because you have gray hair and think that you get to board first, no.
Yeah.
No, you don't need any help.
Yeah, that's I think Bill Burr was talking about that when we were in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Cuz he's like, "Yeah, I finally do pay for first class and now I get to board 40th behind 10 made-up diseases and 20 companion dogs."
It's ridiculous, but people just abuse it. People are so obnoxious. Like you can't do nice things for people. They completely take advantage of the whole situation.
It's like I was thinking about that. You eat at the like Mexican place like Paquito Mas or a few of those places.
Yep.
It's kind of like that. Like remember when most places you gotta pay for chips and salsa,
right?
But in these places it's free,
yeah,
and the salsa's free, and it's like these people just got out of the Great Depression. They
Right.
got a stack of 90 individual salsas. Like,
Yeah.
they're not leaving the bunker until 2020. And
Yeah, exactly.
and it's like
stocked up.
it's like a buffet thing. It's like if it's free, people can't handle it. You have to stuff your face until you explode.
Oh, they're the worst.
There's no moderation. There's no limit. There's no, hey, maybe 2 is enough.
Yeah, no, right. No.
If it's free, I'm stuffing my face until.
Oh, so gross, so disgusting.
But speaking of that, are you doing your intermittent fasting? Is that still a thing, or did you? You didn't eat much in Phoenix.
No, not too much. Yeah, I'm just eating less.
Yeah.
I'm definitely eating less. Yeah, like I do feel better. Like if we're working and eat kind of late, like 8, 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to eat until like noon the next day.
Right.
You know, wake up and it's like your body's still processing all that food. Usually not that hungry. Just have a nice cup of coffee and just chill out and maybe work out or do something. But sometimes you wake up and just hungry.
Yeah.
And one day I woke up and they had a really good breakfast place next to that hotel. And everything was massive. Just like huge stuff. And I woke up then one morning. It's like, you know, sometimes you wake up and you're just like determined to stuff your face. Mm-hmm. It's like you haven't even started the day and you're like, I am getting everything at breakfast. I'm getting an omelet. I'm getting pancakes. I'm getting everything.
Yeah, I saw you kind of, well, I don't know, because I was in that mode too. Like, I had to, like, go until, like, Monday afternoon, and then finally I could, like, shut it off. But it felt like you were kind of in that thing where it's like, I gotta get up tomorrow, I gotta do this, and this, and then...
Not one day that I didn't, not one day did I get up later than 7, and not one day did I not go to an airport and get on a plane. Every single day was up early and flying. Sometimes 2 flights in a day.
Yeah.
And but you know, you just put your head down. You just get up. You're like, okay, there's no choice. I just got to go.
Right. What else are you gonna do?
Last night I was on Facebook Live for a minute, and when a woman said, "You look really tired." I hadn't shaved, and I was like, I am tired. You know, like it's when you stop moving, and all of a sudden it catches up to you. You're like, oh boy, that was some last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. And I don't know what that is, like, because I definitely know people that if they're in a routine, they can't get out of the routine at all. And then I feel like for us, we kind of have that. Like, it's almost like making a movie. Like, we're doing this until we finish, and then we can sleep for 2 days or something.
Right, exactly. And you always think, like, when I'm done with whatever project, then I'm going to really, for a whole week, I'm going to get it all back. There's no getting it back. And you have, like, a couple days where you kind of pass out and sleep a little late, but, you know, it's not over yet. So even today, the whole family's home. There's no school. But I still had to set my alarm before everybody else because I knew I had all this writing to get done before I start traveling again.
Right.
So I was like, still 7 o'clock, up and at 'em.
Hey, I meant to tell you, I'm getting a few things. Have you had someone redo your Wikipedia page or add stuff to it?
No,
I feel like that's important.
Am I under attack?
No, I feel like you don't have much there, though.
Oh.
And it's probably not stuff that you would put on there anyway.
Right.
So, and I feel like just in the last 6 months when I'm doing radio, they go to Wikipedia instead of IMDb now.
Yeah.
Seems to be the go-to thing.
So, Paul, you're an American comedian.
Like, check and see if you're happy with what some random person wrote about you. It's like, okay, how would you feel if someone who took enough time to write about you but didn't really research it or has no journalistic skills.
Yeah.
And that's like the primary source of knowledge for most people who want to interview you.
Yeah, you're right. That's a very good point.
So that, and also for mine, like my thing is like, it's like about the Craig Ferguson show.
Yeah.
8 years ago or something.
Right.
So there's a girl that I knew that's like kind of a social media person, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I know how to do that. You just have to quote stuff." So I was trying to like come up with interesting things to write in there that are like quotable. So
yeah, that's smart.
So maybe just say it's the biggest selling book of 2018 and see if anybody checks it.
The number one new release of 2018.
Yeah.
Also grew up in a coal mine in West Virginia. Just make up all this folklore.
Right.
I always like that, like Bob Dylan kind of recreated where he was, what he was, like when he first showed up, like as a young musician. Mm-hmm. And he came from Minnesota, but he kind of like didn't dispute his. It was very, very folk oriented in the beginning, like the Woody Guthrie, hobo around the country kind of thing. And he was like, you kind of got the feeling like he just was born on the railroad. Yeah. Born on the railroad and worked in the coal mines and his hard scrabble parents in the Great Dust Bowl. And just grew up in Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
But you can create your own stuff. You can create your own folklore now.
Mythology.
Yeah, your own mythology.
Yeah, because it's like whenever you hear somebody that went to high school with Prince, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he was a dork, or you know what I mean? Like they just have like regular stories about him. Yeah. So, I wonder. You never hear from anybody who like went to elementary school with Bob Dylan.
Right, exactly. Nobody ever pops up. Once in a while, an old girlfriend. So I'm going to be in D.C. on Thursday, which is the day that everybody's protesting against this horrible policy of ripping children from their parents. So
is that the day?
I might be hitting the ground while people are protesting, which would be pretty fun for my kids to see. It's so gross. What a horrible... It reminds me of like the Japanese internment camps.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't do that. There's lots of ways to do things. We just don't do that. This like hopeless view of the world. So like, let's act hopelessly is just gross. We don't like to talk too much about politics, and I don't think this is politics. I think this is just human beings.
Yeah, it's not politics. That's what
Italy is being choked out with immigrants. It's going to be an ongoing problem around the world because people's resources are running out, and they have to flee and end up in places, and it's very hard on countries like Italy, who are small to begin with, and you have double the population of a city coming into your city.
Right.
Even there, they don't abuse children, which is what this is. And even if the people are using their children as a way to stay out of jail and that kind of thing, you still don't take it out on the children. I think as a human being, it's hard to look at. Yeah,
I mean, I told you that story of, when I was doing the basketball awards thing at Cortland, like this was 10 years ago that this kid fled Haiti.
Yeah.
From the earthquake.
Right.
And like in 10 years, he's become a college athlete, a college graduate.
Yeah.
He's now going to be like a contributing member of our society, and he's proud to be an American. Like it's exactly the whole reason that you do this. And,
exactly.
And I'm sure that scares people. It's like, there's too many, and where are they going to go, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, if you don't, that was the whole point of like, helping out Mexico, so the people don't want to leave, or if they are fleeing for asylum, like those are people that you can help in different ways. So
it is not to say that it's not a problem that needs to be solved, and people on both sides have not taken it seriously or done the right thing to solve the problem. It is a problem.
Yeah,
you don't hurt children. You just don't. Not in our world. Not in the Come to Papa World,
Right.
where you try and we try and live in a place filled with hope and kindness, and this is complete opposite of it. And it's one of those times where you're like, oh no, don't do that in our name.
Yeah.
Come on, in our name. Other countries want to do that to children. You know, if that's like a North Korea kind of thing, you get it. Not here. Not in a place that's built on human rights.
Yeah, and you don't be. I mean, it's almost like he's bragging about it. Like, we're gonna do this. Like, it's gonna be a deterrent to people who are fleeing horrible circumstances.
They won't even own. They won't even own up to it. They're just gross.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was funny. I told you they had. I just heard Dennis Rodman on a radio show the other day.
Oh yeah,
and he was just talking about Kim Jong-un and just how his. I mean, this is a guy who could possibly start a nuclear war, but his dream in his whole life, he would probably just let everyone in North Korea go if he could watch a NBA basketball game in Madison Square Garden. That's his thing.
I know.
His whole thing is he doesn't even want to come to America to talk to our president or do relations. He wants to see Madison Square Garden because he's only seen it on TV and he loves basketball. Isn't that funny?
Oh my God. It's crazy, crazy. You know, you try and keep yourself separated from it, and it's just, don't be so douchey. It's, kids. Our whole thing is helping kids and trying to fund things for children. This is so gross. What's really cool is the Live From Here thing. Mm-hmm. When I've been out on these book tours and also doing the Live From Here, how many children love the monologue?
Oh, that's great.
They love the... Have you ever been sitting with your friend doing a podcast and wondering if you're going to have time to get to the bank? I have. Kids, for some reason, it's so great. These little 10-year-old girls coming up with glasses, just 13-year-old boys. What's the craziest I have you ever came up with? They're just showing up all over the place. It's such a cool thing that they listen with their parents, and they find that really funny.
That's funny.
Oh, isn't it? It's just the coolest. It's just nothing better than, she's your biggest fan. It's like some girl with like a Hogwarts t-shirt on. Oh, it's the best. It's so funny.
And so they take the summer off for that show?
Yeah, we have 2 more weeks, and then we're in Telluride this week, and then Tanglewood the following week, and then summer off till like late September.
And who was on last week? Why was I thinking
Dave Hill?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I saw a really funny thing with him. Like,
he's so funny
playing the guitar. He was like testing out some like amplifier or something like that, and he's just totally like milking it for like, this is the rock star move. Like, he's so. Was he ever in a band or anything? He's on.
Yeah, he's been in a couple.
Come
bands.
to Papa Live all the time.
Yeah,
so
he's
people
be
probably
on,
know him.
He'll be there next Tuesday. He's so damn funny. He's one of my favorite people, and he's a really great metal guitarist.
Yeah,
and so he'll like tell these great stories and then just shred with his guitar, and people are like, "What? Where did that come from?"
Yeah, it is really funny when somebody's like definitely has like an incredible talent in something that you never knew. So it's like somebody who plays the piano or like can sing. You know, like nobody. There's no comedian that we think can actually sing, but then when somebody like, you know, Sarah Silverman or somebody that has like an actual voice.
Right. Oh, it's so funny. All right, man. Well, I hope you have a good time, and well, I'll see you before.
Yeah, we'll have
you
one
leave,
more.
You leave Wednesday.
I think next Wednesday.
All right, so we'll talk more before you go. We'll put together a care package for you. We'll get you some outfit. You have to think about, you know, first impressions are important in these kind of situations. So I think you have to show up in your in a very well thought out outfit.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but maybe just a tuxedo. What if you just wore a tuxedo the whole time?
I have to say a tuxedo shirt, just a printed tuxedo.
Yeah.
Just for the weather.
That's true. All right, we'll think about that a little bit more. It's summertime, gang. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Make yourself a mojito. Go get the book. Go to tompapa.com and check out all the tour dates. I'm doing a bunch of summer things. I'm bringing the book everywhere I go. And check out Paul's new special. Paul has a website.com. And always good talking to you all. Enjoy your life.